Hey everyone, I am Styleboy and welcome to our Autistics Hear Me Out. Even though you have either been diagnosed with autism, you've self-diagnosed yourself, or you are at the beginning stages because you think you are neurodivergent. Whatever stage of your diagnosis process you're at, do you still feel like you're learning about autism and about yourself and how you deal with autistic stuff? Because honey, me too. In this video, it's basically going to be telling you all, what am I still learning about autism? Because I feel like online, it's just like there's so many like posts and whatever. And even I posts kind of educating people and telling people, but I feel like there's none of that middle ground to be like, well, here's what we're learning together. I would really like this video just to kind of be like, we're still all learning. Like I said in last week's video, which by the way, thank you guys so much for the love and appreciation. That meant so much to me. Like knowing how many of you felt seen in that video and felt heard, just oh my god, that made me so happy because that's basically the reason why I make these videos. So basically you guys feel seen and heard and my heart was just feeling so warm. We're still all on a journey basically, and we're still all trying to figure out ourselves and about how autism affects us basically. If you are ready to learn a little bit more about what am I still learning about autism, obviously before you do so you have to subscribe. Again, whole of April, every single week, autistic videos. Of course you want to subscribe for that and also hit the notification bell so you know every single week when I upload the video. And without further ado, let's start off with point number 1. Okay, so point number 1, and I don't know if this is for other autistics, but this is especially for me. How do I meltdown, burnout, and shut down? As I get older and older and older, I obviously know that like the way I do certain things are completely different to child me. Of course I know that, like we call that growth, hon. And obviously my needs and what my supports are going to be different. So obviously my reactions and how I melt down and how I burn out and how I face autistic shutdown is going to be completely different. But I don't know. Like I have theories about it. Like I think I melt down because I get very anxious, and a lot of mine end up looking like anxiety based. So I look like I'm very anxious, I look like I'm very nervous, I kind of curl up, I get really quiet. So I'm thinking that meltdown. Please tell me that's a meltdown. And also, is there more than one types of meltdown? When I think of meltdown, I think of the other way I do it, which can be like I just panic and my heart beats really, really fast. I have to go on my bed face down and I kick my legs. So like, do they both class as meltdowns? Please say they do. And shutdown, like do people face shutdown often? Do people face shutdown very little? Not as often. Burnout, I'm a little bit more familiar because this bitch gets burnout because of a uni work. But also like for autistic burnout, is it the same? Because I think I experienced it in 2020, but like does it come back more often? Does it come back less often? I know these are loads of questions and obviously everyone in the spectrum is different. So I obviously know that the way I go through meltdowns and burnout, like I was saying a little bit earlier, is going to be completely different for another person in the spectrum. And that's all good. Again, it's all about your individuality. That's what the magic about being autistic is, that we're all individuals, yet we can all share mutual experiences about facing meltdowns, burnout, sensory overload, but also the positive sides like specialized interests. Oh my god, I love specialized interests. I guess that's like the magic of it, but I don't know why I didn't put it earlier in the video. The reason why I want to also do this because a lot of the times like we have to be a self-advocate for ourselves, and often trying to figure out everything by yourself is exhausting. So I wanted to kind of like figure out loads of different things, and one of them is this, because I've been genuinely thinking about this and it's very much confusing me, but I know how to help myself. Like I know how to like cope and calm myself down, but I don't know what they are. I definitely think once I know that, then it can help me so much more in so many other ways, and I think it will truly benefit me. Okay, let's go on to the next point. Okay, so for me, the next thing I feel like I need a lot of help with, how to communicate to others my needs and accommodations. So I actually really struggle with this a lot. Maybe a piece of me is from like that people-pleasing tendency and that stupid thought process that like I'm a burden or I'm gonna ruin my relationship with others because I have needs and because I need to ask for them, which is ridiculous, but I sometimes really struggle with that. What I'm quite glad about is that I asked for accommodations for my internship placement. Again, I found one. But I feel like it's very much like asking for them can be quite hard because I've faced experiences where people kind of become very prejudiced because I asked for them, which is frustrating. Or people just make assumptions and it's just like, that's not it, hun. Like, that's really not it. I basically want to try and like figure out how to do so. Especially with those I'm not the most 1000% comfortable with. There are times like I'm out with people and like I just don't know how to communicate that I need time to rest or I need like time time to breathe or this is too much, and I feel guilty for that. So I really want to try and figure that out, because it would really help me a lot, and then I'll be feeling much more comfortable and much more able to like enjoy myself, and because then I'll be feeling a lot more comfortable, and because I'll be feeling like I can enjoy myself, I can make better connections with people. So any tips on that? Because that is something I really struggle with. I will say though, I'm getting better. Like there are people I'm a lot more comfortable with, and there are people that I feel a lot more comfortable asking. That's good, but I would like to improve further. I feel like we have to go on to the next thing. Okay, so before we go on to the next point, I just need a moment of appreciation because I got a new phone. And I'm part of the iPhone family now. iPhone, you're just hitting different. First I got in the purple color, and secondly, look at my phone case. Do you see her? Do you see the girls thriving? I'm just obsessed with this phone case. So the next point I put, to start investigating certain things that could help me more. What I'm mainly talking about is a lot of fidgeting stuff, because obviously if you know, I have my weighted blanket, I have lights, which are fantastic, and I have noise cancelling headphones, so my AirPods, which are great, but especially if I'm out and about and I start feeling a bit anxious, I stim by listening to the same song over and over again. Actually, the last time I felt this, I was listening to Conan Gray Telepath, which is a great song. Anyway, that's not the point. I really would like stuff that I can stim with more, and stuff I can fidget with, because I know when I stim, a lot of stuff that I do is I kind of scratch here, and I often like itch a lot myself, like my hair, especially, like that's something I do, or I do this a lot. But I'd also like to be able to touch stuff physically, because I know that helps a lot. So I kind of want to get a fidget ring because they look really beautiful, and also they're just really fun, and I can imagine doing that a lot because I do often play with like my knuckles and my nails a lot, so I'd like to do that. Also clothing wise, I like to have more clothing that has an outward texture. So obviously like fashion wise, it's fantastic because the texture, adding more dimension, adding more this, which is great. But also another way it's great is that it helps me sensory because I can just touch it and feel it, especially if it's a texture I like. It can really help me feel a little bit more calmer. So of course, if you couldn't guess, I had to bring in my little favorite purple bag. I haven't tried this when I'm anxious, although with this is kind of a moment, right? I don't know why it's giving clueless energy, but it kind of is. I love the way this feels. I haven't tried this when I'm facing sensory overload, but I can imagine this just feeling so nice because this is such a soft texture. It'll make me feel more at ease, so I definitely think this is a good one. A second piece that I have, which I think does help, which is kind of in juxtaposition, because while this one isn't the softest texture, it is still a texture I do enjoy, which is my purple corduroy jacket. I have a thing for purple at the moment. Yes, this is like one of my favorite jackets I ever own. Like this is just such a cute piece and it looks so good, but also like I love the way that the cord feels. What I love is that if you stroke down, it's like really soft, and if you go that way, it's like, it's not rough, but it's like you can feel the texture here. It feels really good, and basically it would make me feel a lot more better. I do have another corduroy jacket in cream, and I have a puffer jacket that's cord, so I feel like these would be really helpful. And also cord is just such a nice fabric. That's something that I want to try and invest in more, because the more I go out, the more I kind of need them, and I feel like it would benefit me. Oh my god, especially if I want to start trying to like go out more at night to like bars and stuff like that. But something along those lines could help me out quite a bit. Next point, I'm just obsessed with the chair shot. Like now it's like the chair and standing I'm in love with. Like look at this! Anyway, next point, kind of distinguishing when I need alone time, and like, am I spending too much time alone or am I not? What I actually meant is that sometimes I really struggle with understanding actually how I'm feeling. What exactly am I feeling like? And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's many autistics do feel like that, and also non-autistics feel like that. There's actually a term for it, and I don't know the name of the term off the top of my head now. I'll put it up here if I remember it. But yeah, it sometimes can be really difficult, especially if I'm down. Like, oh my god, like my brain also tends to overthink. So I'll start thinking of like 50 different reasons of like why I'm feeling down. It spirals, it goes into a madness. When I'm talking about being alone, I actually don't know sometimes when I'm alone, do I need to be alone? Am I just feeling lonely? Am I feeling like I need time to breathe? Am I feeling bored? It can be quite confusing, and I feel like that's something I do struggle with, and that's something I'm still learning about, the distinguishing factors about like, when am I feeling this? When am I feeling that? What should I do for this? What should I do for that? So that is something I do struggle with, and that's something I'm still learning about even to this day. And that's why I think when I'm down, I always need time by myself to reflect and process everything. So that's why I always need the moment just to breathe. Yes, I could even do the Sharpay thing. That's something that I think I'm still learning about. And any tips to help out, that would be greatly appreciated. The next point, basically, that I kind of wanted to say, what is masking to me? I obviously know what is masking, but how do I mask as an individual? Because there's like times I'm like, I've realized it, but like I don't know it fully. And I feel like the problem is when it comes to masking, it's like you don't know whether this is your authentic reaction, you don't know if it's like another reaction. All of this stuff, it's quite confusing. And it's like, oh, did I like learn this? Is this a coping mechanism? Is this me trying to like hide how I feel? And I honestly overthink a lot. Hi, I'm an overthinker. But I do tend to overthink a lot. So for me, I feel like knowing how I mask, if I do mask, would really, really help me out a lot. And that way I can try and like figure out, either learn to unmask or what situations to masking. I remember I saw this like TikTok which got made into an Instagram reel of this woman saying like sometimes it can be used as protection. So I just want to try and like learn about it a bit more. The one time I think I did mask is actually when I went to a bar when I was out with my friends, and it was packed. It was just so much. There was super loud music, loads of people who were making more noise. The floors were sticky. Ugh. And I just remember feeling really like I was getting more and more overwhelmed. Everyone was like, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. And then I was like, okay, I have to take myself out. And I did, and I felt so much better. And then another friend joined me outside, which felt great. But it's just like in those circumstances, it's like, it does really help to know. In what ways does this bitch mask? And the last thing that I kind of want to learn, which sounds weird because I guess this is another form of communication, but what accommodations do I need? Which sounds weird because I literally was talking about, okay, communicating them. So like, it's just like, huh? In my head, it's like, I know them. Like, I'm like, yeah. And like, I know like the basics. I'm like, yeah, I kind of need time when I get stressed or overwhelmed. And like, that's the main one. Like, I need time to breathe and little breaks in between the day. Then I sit there and when people ask sometimes, I'm like, accommodation said, bye bitch, head empty, no thoughts. Edward Cullen cannot read my mind either. I kind of want to know them more officially because I'm 1000% sure I need a little bit more than just time to process stuff and little breaks in between the day. Especially when it came to like group work. Like I really realized I was like, ooh, bitch, you need to know. And like group work and uni work and whatever, because I realized again, like last time I was super duper stressed. Like, did you not like see all the 5 projects I had to do in this video? Honey, the chaos. Because of that, I ended up kind of losing everything and my mental health suffered. And I kind of want to know in what ways can I accommodate myself to tell others. Although I have ideas of this also, so it's just more about communicating. But the ideas I have are that I need to spread out work for me to have like a plan of everything. So if, for example, if we all plan out everything together and communicate together like a plan, I will feel a lot more better. Even with uni work, sometimes I'm like, I would like to know what we're learning each week before I get in, just so I know. And I kind of want to learn, again, more how to communicate them. So I guess this technically went with the last point, but I think that is the end of the video basically. Again, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification so you know what next week's video is going to be. And I shall see you guys then for the next video. Bye!